The day has come, y'all. YouTube trying to pack me up. And it's the same thing that's been going on for years. Favoritism. YouTube will use a robot that makes a mistake, and unless you publicly call them out and go quote unquote viral, they'll just never even try to fix said mistake or even look at it. And it's sad, but I'm pretty sure all of y'all know I'm not the only one this has happened to. But me, I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt. I waited a little while, and yet they've offered nothing. YouTube's new system or AI has recently just been going on a purge of trying to accuse channels that do anime, animation, or cartoon content of producing, quote, misleading family content, simply because they see any kind of animation or cartoons as solely content that's made for kids, which is just an indefensible and honestly egregious assumption. Just from my knowledge, I've seen channels such as Zephyr Live, TSO Sage, Olama-sama, Huncho, Ninjuno, Honobread, and way more all get accused of this exact same thing. And there's obviously a common denominator. They all cover anime or animation, and keep in mind, they all cover it differently. Everybody has their different styles. Some of these are just reaction channels, but it don't matter. They see animation and they think, oh yeah, that's made for a 13-year-old. Now, luckily, I have seen a couple of these people get their stuff back, which is just proof that this new system YouTube is using makes mistakes. But also, some of these people have still yet to be even heard. Through many conversations, we've all been repeatedly given the same exact messages, just copy and paste it from person to person with little to no effort being used to actually support their creators, which is obviously not what you'd expect from a business of this caliber. But another thing for me is after multiple conversations with YouTube's AI email responses, they led me personally to review their child safety policies in regards to what I've done wrong. Because if you guys didn't know, they don't actually tell you what you did wrong. And they even say they can't tell you any specifics of when or what you did. They literally did this with zero warnings and zero specifics or examples of how to fix it or what you did. Because for some reason they say it's not allowed. And obviously that makes zero sense. This is like you go to a job, right? And from my point of view, I've been doing this channel for 3 years. So let's just say you've been at a job for 3 years and then one day they just pull up on you like, yo, we know you've been doing this for a while, you done grown a lot, but we want you to work for 3 months without paying you. So naturally, I'm like, bro, what? And when I ask why, they just be like, behavior problems. But they give you no examples or any kind of clarification. All they tell you is that you did something wrong and now you got to go out of your way to figure out what you did wrong and how exactly you can fix it with almost zero insight, which is clearly just beyond stupid. And then they have the audacity to say, nah, we want you to keep posting for 90 days just for the hope of then you can reapply to the program and we might accept you. Might. When even then, they could just reject your application again and then you just post it for 90 days and you can't even get your channel back for real. So in other words, they want to keep making money off you for 3 months while you can literally make nothing from it. At that point, it's just exploitation. Even in my conversations, they told me that they, and I quote, can't look through every video. So from my perspective, they could have just watched the video and saw 2 fictional anime characters fighting and was like, nah, this is blasphemous. We gotta pack him up. They can strip away your pay for 3 months with no proof other than accusations from a robot, and yet they provided me with 0 warnings. My channel has 0 strikes, and throughout my history on this channel, I've never implied that my videos were made for kids. Because they ask you this before you upload, and I've never said yes. And even then, less than 18% of my audience is under the age of 18. Like, even if you were to get copyright strike, if anybody's watched any videos on the channel, there's specific points of the video that'll get muted because they tell me, yo, this right here, this is copyright. You can't use this. So you can tell me the specifics of when I can't use something, but whenever you can take away my monetization for 3 months, you can provide me 0 specifics. How many videos on this channel do y'all see where they're like, oh yeah, this part is muted? Even though when I initially posted, there's no problems. If you watch the video when I first posted, nothing. But then a month later, you go back and all of a sudden the section is muted because they can go back and tell you, hey, this right here, you can't use this. But then when it comes to actually being able to get paid from your channel, they're like, nah, we can't tell you why. We just don't want to help you at all. That's crazy. And if y'all didn't know, Naruto is the main thing I cover on this channel. But do y'all know what Naruto is officially rated? PG or TV-14. as is most anime. Now, like I said earlier, if they imply my videos promote child harm, which is what is stated in the child safety policy, because I'm showing something that's rated PG, that shit's crazy. If that's the case, nothing should be allowed. It should literally just be YouTube Kids. Because in none of my videos do I promote anything that encourages harm on children, whether that's harassment or violence. I'm gonna read you guys exactly what YouTube's child safety policy says, because again, that's what they referred me to when I asked what I did wrong. YouTube doesn't allow content that endangers the emotional and physical well-being of minors. A minor, which is someone under 18 years old. I don't do that. Nor does anything on my channel do that. There isn't anyone being in danger in my videos, let alone minors. And in my specific case of misleading family content, in which they claim my videos are indirectly or directly targeting minors or kids, from reading the guidelines, the only thing that can really apply to my channel is the quote-unquote violence and or family-friendly cartoons that target young minors. Because again, I'm not the only channel dealing with this. They're going after a lot of people who just do anime or animation. So just putting 2 and 2 together, they see a character that's drawn and just assume that's made for kids when it doesn't mean that it's made for kids. Trust me, there is way worse content that is consisted of animated characters. But us creators aren't doing that. It's just all so crazy, because for a company that be spamming Blue Chew and sex ads all over my feed to now target creators who cover animation is just truly unreasonable and a problem. And any human who actually sees this realizes it. But since YouTube only wants to use AI as their support team, they're not only jeopardizing people's livelihoods, but messing up some people's careers. And since they don't want to help, I'm asking y'all, if you can not only like the video so it can get pushed and maybe they can see this because that's what they want, it's something to go quote unquote viral, but also if y'all can follow my Twitter and tag at Team YouTube and at YouTube Creators in my replies so that can get an actual human to review this and help these creators get seen. Because this is something that's actually worked, you know, not actually reaching out to their support team and figuring out what's wrong. Nah, you actually have to get a video or a post to get a certain amount of traction so that it draws the attention of an actual human and then they get to review it. Because if not, you're cooked. There's literally people that's been dealing with this for months. So again, if y'all can like this video and go do that on Twitter, I would greatly appreciate it. Because all this showing me is that YouTube has an AI problem. And if that by itself is not the case, shout out Corey.